Wait, why'd you quit recording?
No, I'm recording.
Oh.
All right. So, modeling, using matrices. So, translations, that's the ones that go left and right. You add and subtract. Dilations, make it bigger or shrink it. Okay. That's multiplying or dividing. And like I said, dividing is really multiplying by a fraction. Subtracting is really adding by a negative. Okay. Reflections. There's going to be 3. Okay. You're actually going to multiply by a matrix. And when you're talking about multiplying by a matrix, the matrix you multiply by depends on what are you reflecting it over. Okay. So you will probably need to know these for your test. I might put them on there. We'll see. But if you're going to flip it over the x-axis, okay, this is for the x-axis, you're going to multiply by 1, 0, 0, negative 1. That's the matrix you're going to multiply by, okay? If you're going to multiply or flip it over the y-axis, let's see how good y'all are at inferring things. If this is what I'm multiplying it by to do the x-axis, what do you think I'd do on the y-axis? Close. You just change what you're making negative. So it's negative 1, 0, 0, positive 1. Okay? And then the other line is the y equals x line. So everybody know what line that is? That's the diagonal line that goes right through the origin, right? Okay? For that one, it's 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay? And again, like I said, you're just multiplying by that matrix. Okay? 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, y-axis, negative 1, 0, 0, 1, and then the y equals x, you're multiplying by 0, 1, and 1, 0. Okay? Everybody good? All right. The last thing, like I said, that you may have never done, rotations. And they are also multiplying by a matrix. So rotations, we have 3 of those as well. You can rotate it quarter turn, which is how many degrees? Geometry. 90 degrees, or you can rotate it halfway, would be 180, or you can rotate it 3/4 of the way, would be what? 270. They don't have one for rotating at 360, because if you rotate at 360, you're right back to where you started, okay? So the rotation, and they just put ROT for rotation, okay? It's rotation, and you put a little 90, okay? That one, and again, these are in your book. These are on page 91. If you don't want to write them, they're here. So rotation 90 degrees, you do 0, negative 1, 1, 0. A rotation for 180 degrees. You do, again, negative 1, 0, 0, negative 1. All of these are on page 91 in your book. And a rotation to 70 is 0, 1, negative 1, 0. Okay? This is the info you need to keep handy while you're doing our problems. Okay? I don't mind you looking at them. Everybody good? Mm-hmm. All right, let's do some problems. They're actually the problems from your homework. So, on page 93, we're starting. You're not gonna have any. You're gonna turn it in before we leave. Okay. Okay. Page 93. Number 11 says a triangle with vertices A11, B14, and C51, and they want us to scalar multiply it by a factor of 3. So is that going to get bigger or smaller? It's going to get bigger. Now understand, they give you 3 vertices of the triangle, and basically you take those 3 vertices and you make a matrix out of it. Here's my vertices, okay? A was 1, 1, B was 1, 4, and C was 5, 1. And then you just multiply that matrix by what? 3. So my new triangle will be 3, 3, 15. Okay, I'm just multiplying 3 times 1, 3 times 1, 3 times 5. 3 times 1 again is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And finally, 3 times 1 is 3. And that's my new image. That's it. Okay, so here's how they notate that. So if this was my original ABC, this is now, they call it A prime, B prime, and C prime. Okay, and so if you were to graph it, which I'm not going to make you graph it, but if you were to graph it, you would see that you'd have a triangle here, and then this triangle would be how many times bigger? 3 times bigger. Okay, easy enough? All right. So like the video we just saw where they were blowing things up, if that triangle, if your shape is a triangle and you want to, okay, I always think of Mario Brothers, right? Super Mario, everybody played Super Mario Brothers. When he eats the mushroom, what's he do? He gets bigger. They're multiplying his little matrix by whatever number, and it makes him bigger. Is that making sense? Okay. Same thing, I would assume, like, you know, movies where they eat something and get bigger, or same thing, same type math. Okay, 13, it's not a triangle this time, it's a quadrilateral, and it's quadrilateral P, Q, R, S, and this time we are scaling it by a factor of 2. So you just multiply the entire matrix by 2. Very, very simple. So 2 times -3 is -6. 2 times -2 is -4. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 4 is 8. And then we got 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 2 again is 4. And again, what would we call this?
P prime, Q prime,
P prime, Q
S
prime, R prime, S prime. Okay. And you do that, so if they wanted to, as ordered pairs, you could put, hey, P is, you know, P prime is -6, 0, and you could label the points. Any questions? All right, moving on. The next one, I believe we are translating. Okay, so flip over one page. It says triangle WXY with vertex matrix -2, 0, 1, 5, 3, -1. See, they already gave us the matrix in this one. This is WXY. And they want us to translate it 3 units to the right and down 2 units. So which variables were up here at the top? Which part of our point were up here at the top? That's the x's. The bottom are the what? Y's. So they want us to move it 3 to the right. So over here, I'm going to add 3 to the top because that's my x's. All right. And then on the bottom to my y's, they want us to go down 2. So that's why you add -2. And you have to do it 3 times because in order to add matrices, they have to be the same what? Size. Learned that yesterday, right? Have to be the same size in order to add and subtract them. And then you just add. So that's going to be, add up the right elements, -2 plus 3. What is that? That's 1.
The answer is 1.
Siri's playing along too. 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 plus 3 is 6. 0 plus -2.
-2.
5 plus -2.
3.
-1 minus 2. There is your new W prime, X prime, and Y prime. Easy enough?
What if they only ask you to move it right? So you only.
Very good question. What do you do if they only ask you to move it right?
0.
What do you put on the bottom? Zeros. Okay. They only ask you to move it up. You put zeros on top. Okay. Good question. Everybody good? 17, same thing. This time they gave us, what is this, a rectangle? No, square. They call it CDEF. And again, they give us the points. You have to make the matrix on this one. Okay, so I've already done that for you. They wanted us to move this square 3 to the right and up 4. So you do 3 on the top, 4 is on the bottom, and you add them up. So that's 0, -3 plus 3 is 0, 1 plus 3 is 4, 5 plus 3 is 8, 1 plus 3 is 4. And you do the same thing on the bottom. Yes, ma'am. And I will give you time to copy it, because I know I'm going fast. I'm going to post it to YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Is it good?
Of course. No, it's what
It's
you're
math.
seeing right now.
So we have to put the secret in.
That's telling me the answer, because that's actually what it's asking. This is, they call it the original, they call it the image, or the pre-image, I should say. And then you're going from the pre-image to the image. So you're blowing up the pre-image to the final.
I knew what it was now.
Okay. Yeah. Like if you don't put it, I'll just probably write you, hey, don't forget to name it. Okay, that kind of thing. Everybody good? Okay. Reflections are next. Okay. 19. They give us, what is this? A, B, C. Triangle A, B, C. Now I want you to notice something very important here. Where did I put my reflection matrix? That I'm in the front. It has to go in the front. If it doesn't go in the front, it won't be able to be multiplied. Okay? Not all the time, but for this particular problem. So always put your reflection matrix in the front. Okay? Now we are reflecting it over which one? The y-axis this time, right? Okay? So this is the y-axis reflection matrix right here.
Do we need to know those for the test?
You,
Like memorize?
I will probably provide them for you.
Probably, or
but-
no?
It would still be good for you to note them, okay? And it doesn't take much. And like I said, we're gonna do this the long way, and then I'm gonna show you the shortcuts you could have taken, okay? So the long way we just did, long way is terrible because it takes a long time to multiply matrices, okay? Again, you don't have to write this. I'm writing it just to show you how much time you're gonna save, okay? So we would do 1 times -1, right? Plus 0 times -2. And then we do 1 times 0, plus 0 times -4. And then we would do 1 times 2 plus 0 times -3. And on the bottom, we do the bottom row times the first column. So 0 times -1 plus -1 times -2. And then we would do 0 times 0 plus -1 times -4. Okay. And then finally 0 times 2 plus -1 times -3. And then just like yesterday, you simplify. So notice, how many times did we multiply by 0 in each thing?
A lot.
At least what? At least once. So notice this, when you're multiplying by, it's just 0. So you can actually just go through and cancel them out. There's gone, 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 gone. This whole thing's what? The whole thing's gone, right? Okay. So we're left with what's -1 times 1,
-1.
and then 0. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay. 2, 4. And finally, 3. There's my answer, okay? There is A prime, B prime, C prime. Look at the answer. Compare it to the original. What's the only thing that happened?
The bottom sign changed.
The bottom sign's changed. That's your shortcut.
The Y's changed.
The Y's changed. That's all that changed. And how did it change? We just made them opposite whatever their sign was.
Yeah.
Did everybody see that? Okay. So if you look at the reflection matrix, you can kind of tell, hey, that's what it's telling you. Did we mess with the top? It's just a +1 and a 0, okay? The bottom, though, has a what? A -1. So basically, all you have to do is change the bottom row's signs, and you've reflected it over the y-axis.
So that's all you'd have to do every
That's
time?
all you have to do to reflect it over the y-axis. Just change the bottom row's signs.
Same with the X.
Same thing with the x, okay? If you're doing the x, where's my negative going to be? It's going to be at the top, okay? Did I write that right? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Nope, this was the x-axis. I'm stupid. Sorry about that. I knew that was wrong, okay? So everything we just said was backwards, okay? So if you're reflecting it over the x-axis, you change the bottom sign.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense, correct. If you, I'll just use 1 point, okay? If you have, here's your x-axis, right? And you have a point, we'll just say 1, 2. We'll make it go not too far. All right? If we want to reflect that over the x-axis, it's going to be 1, -2. Well, what changed?
Just the Y sign.
Just the y, okay? We got +2, -2. The x, it stays put, okay? I'm just jumping the x-axis, so I change the y, okay? So when you're doing the x-axis, sorry about that. I should have read the problem. X-axis, this is its reflection, and all you're going to do is change the signs of the bottom row of the y's, okay? If it's the y-axis, you're going to change the signs of the top row, and that's it. Everybody good? Okay. If it is the y = x axis, let's see how, well, I got it down here already. I don't want you to see it. Oh, well, it's too late. I've already read it. So this is 21. We're reflecting it. Come on. I want it. Let me grab it. Oh, there it goes. 21, we're reflecting it over the y = x, okay? Y = x reflection. What did we do? What's that matrix? What happened to the matrix equation? What happened?
The negative got rid of 0 and you flipped it.
Well, I don't see any negatives up there.
Yeah.
What's different about?
You just
The 0 and the 1.
This was where?
swap.
Up here, this one was, so what do you think you do with the x and y? You just switch them. That's it. So everything that's a y becomes an x, and everything that's an x becomes a y.
So the signs don't change at all. 'cause
Signs
there's
do
no
not
negative.
change at all when you're reflecting it over the y = x axis.
Except if they're
Yes.
These are my favorite ones.
All right. So what,
Michael Trump.
that was HK, HIJK, of course, HIJK. So this is going to be H prime, J prime, I prime, and K prime.
Wait, so
Sounds like
what?
a
K for X, what do you mean?
I teach math, not algebra. I mean, not alphabet.
Wow.
Thank you. HIJK. I did it right up there. If it makes it any better. It doesn't, but thanks for pointing that out.
Oh, they just flipped.
They just flip,
Okay.
okay? Everybody good? All right. I want to do 2 extra. We're going to add 2 more because I want to get a rotation in. Maybe I say 2. Yeah, 1 more. Excuse me. 1 more. So 23. They want us to rotate it how far? 180 degrees. All right. So look back. Hopefully you wrote them down. What's the matrix for rotating it 180? -1 what? 0.
0, -1.
All right. So we're going to multiply that by our points, and it's a square. And we've got 0, 0, and 4, 0, and 4, 4, and finally 0, 4. So what was this named? OPQR? OPQR. What terrible letters, because the O looks like a 0. Anyway. what do you think we're gonna do here?
Turn everything negative.
Everything, do we move, do we flip anything?
No, sir.
Nope, everything's in the right spot. All you do is just make everything negative. So 0 stays 0, but that's a -4, -4, 0, 0, 0, -4, -4. Boom. So that'd be O prime, P prime, Q prime, and R prime. And that is all there is to it, okay?
If it's
Now-
like 90 degrees, just
I was about to say,
flip them.
we're gonna do an extra one. I just said it's 2 extras. Sorry, we're gonna do this same problem, but we're gonna pretend that it said 90 degrees because there is a trick. Okay,
23 prime. Right?
what's the 90 degree one? 0, -1, 1, 0. Okay, so same one, 0, 0. What was it? 4, 0, 4, 4, 0, 4. Right? I think that's right. All right. So we're rotating it 90 degrees. 2 things have happened now, and you have to do them in the right order or you're going to get it wrong, okay? The X and Y have what? Switched, and that's a negative. So here's what you're going to do if you get it wrong. Don't change it. Don't change the signs and then flip it. You have to flip it and then change the signs, okay? So this answer, well, I'm going to flip it first. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm going to put this on the top, 0, 0, 4, 4. And then this goes on the bottom, 0, 4, 4, 0. And now I change the signs of the what? The top. Negative, negative. Boom. That would be what your answer had been if it was reflecting or rotating 90 degrees. Okay?